everybody, and welcome back to Weston Beach, my City Skylines 2 playthrough, where we build a beach inspired by Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now, as of last episode, we had established this block area of middle density row homes along this riverbank here, and we also built ourselves a little custom park to go with them. We also established the HOA neighborhood that is growing quite nicely, and we began the small portion of industrial that we now have down here. Ever since the first video was uploaded, I went ahead and made a few changes to just a handful of things that I noticed that I did wrong. One of them being the zoning, the fences here. Well, they should have been fixed. I'll have to address that, but some incomplete fencing there, as well as the lack of details over here in the neighborhood park. I was debating on recording it, but I decided we'll be doing a few more things in this episode, so you'll get plenty of detailing bits here and there. So today, as you can see, our demand is absolutely filled for all zones. So that is what we're going to cover today, is just meeting the massive demand that we are beginning to see as people move into Weston Beach. One thing too that I noticed is that we didn't have any use of our water pumping station, so I had to actually go into the infrastructure system, and I just had to connect our pipes from the pump house to the pipes in the local network, in the global network. Unfortunately, I don't know why the roads weren't connected. Well, actually, now that I look at it, I do. It's because there was no connection via the highway, but that was just a small oversight on my part. Before we do anything, though, I do want to do a bit of future-proofing with the city's development, primarily handling this roundabout. With this being the main entrance on this county road to get into either our HOA or our commercial district here, or even to go down to the industrial if you are coming from up north for some reason, Sims would really have to fight with traffic going both ways. So I'm going to go ahead and incorporate some slip lanes into this roundabout here, just so that traffic does not have to fight either getting into the area towards the medium density, or people in the low density trying to get out. So in order to do that, we're going to replace our 2-lane with an asymmetrical 2-lane, like so. Going to do the same thing on the right side here, asymmetrical 2-lane. And then we're going to go ahead and upgrade this county road into a 4-lane divided. We'll eventually replace it with a freeway, but for now, I think that we will benefit from the temporarily reduced speed limit in that area. So once we've done that, going to go into our roads here, and we're just going to use alleyways for now. On our next milestone, we're going to unlock freeways, and that's where we will upgrade these into freeway lanes. But for now, we're just going to do that. Actually, my correction, we're not going to use the alleyways, we're going to use the one-way roads here. I'm gonna toggle snapping because I want to place them how I see fit in this area, which would be like so. And then we're going to control this, remove all unsafe turns, and that lane should just converge here, like so. Kind of forms a bottleneck. Going to do the same thing over here. Incorporate a slip lane going here. Remove all unsafe turns, and you can't turn left coming out. And then at this point we will upgrade this to a 4-lane road right here. It's going to create a very confusing road layout initially, but in the long term, it should improve traffic flow, theoretically. Now that's done. Traffic should be improving. But now another issue that we need to address is going to be the general lack of a school in this area here. So I believe that we're going to place a school probably up in here, not in this area. That's going to be ideal for very high-end homes, but perhaps here in this region we'll go ahead and place one. It's just going to be an elementary school. It's going to be the city's first elementary school. And we're going to go ahead and place it just like so. To go with it, we're also going to use this handy little parking road asset that I found that is going to work potentially a little bit better than the custom parking lot assets, because I do need to do a little bit more research on how that's going to work. We're going to go ahead and place that like that, and then place the next one just like that. And then we can go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and parkify the area across from the school here. Now that the school is done, we're also going to go ahead and zone the area right here in front of the school as living space for more residents. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the cul-de-sac that the terminating cul-de-sac for the neighborhood will end right about there. Cul-de-sac at the end. And we'll go ahead and use our landscaping tools to level the terrain right around this. That's going to make what we'll call outlook point. And we'll do just some more houses leading up to outlook point. Perfect. Now, when we upgraded to level 2 small village, I went ahead and purchased the water treatment plant. So now we can go ahead and do that. And I think behind the pumping station, we're going to go ahead and put that water treatment plant somewhere in here. We have some rising hills, as you can see in the topography there, and I'm going to completely ignore the topography, number one, and number two, we're going to utilize it as sort of a blind so that people driving by don't necessarily have to see the very, very ugly water treatment plant. We can either do that, or we can place it over here at South Beach, that's been relatively neglected. Place it in the Everglade region behind the beach. And honestly, now that I think about it, that's probably a better idea. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, and we are back. I intended to build this in a time lapse, but something happened with my recording software. I'm not sure what. With OBS, I'm not sure what, but regardless, we have this area now, and we're starting to run into the issue where we don't have enough educated employees. So that's what we're going to work on next, is tackling the whole education and cost of living situation. Not enough customers, that's fixed with more people coming in, and high rent. So we need to fix that. The first thing that I'm going to do to fix it is actually, we're going to fill in the rest of that, make sure that the whole beachside promenade here is completely filled. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to plan a medium density housing project along the beach here, we're going to call that the Grand Strand, just like it is over in Myrtle. We're also going to focus now more on specialized industry. If you look on our tax panel here, we're currently making a deficit of $83,000 a month. And that's primarily just due to service upkeeps and service trade, service fees. Government subsidies are a good portion, but mainly taxes. Residential, commercial, and industrial. By far the most profitable tax that we have is residential. So our next big thing in our agenda is going to be to really expand the residential capacity of Weston Beach. We've also got people leaving at currently 13 people per hour, which is not the best. So we really need to get on it. And to start, we're going to go ahead and purchase a few tiles here to encompass most of the Grand Strand area. Eventually this will become mostly high density right along the beach, but for now we're going to keep it as medium density. We're also to focus on specialized industry. We're going to purchase some plots of land with the most fertile territory. I mean, yeah, and that's probably going to be this area right in here. So thankfully those are just the two tiles adjacent from the industrial side of our river. And that also grants us access to our to the first section of the interstate, which is fantastic. If we so wished, we could make an exit going directly to our industrial zone. But for now, let's focus on some homes, shall we? Much better. And we're now at a deficit of negative 37,000 an hour, which is much less than 82 or something, whatever it was. So yeah, now the next thing that we're going to end up running into is that we're not going to have enough high skill labor. So we don't want to continually depend on people moving in with their intelligence. We want to give the citizens that are born here and who are growing up here we want to give them that intelligence. So that's a funny way of saying it. We're going to go ahead and build ourselves a school. Now, this area that I originally thought that we were going to just leave hilly, it's kind of a bit of a violent terrain. So I think we're actually just going to flatten it at the height of this, flatten it a bit, make it another kind of HOA area right in here with a high school on the opposite end. So let's go ahead and do that now. Excellent. We now have what I'm going to call typical American city issue, and that is we don't know how to handle traffic, do we? And I hate to say it, adding another lane is not going to fix it. So we have to get creative. We can do all sorts of things like controlling the lanes in which people can choose to turn in, etc. But ultimately, that ultimately wouldn't really fix the issue, would it? No, it really wouldn't. So we have reached the development milestone already, and I'm going to go ahead and unlock highways so that we can work on that. And I'm also going to go ahead and unlock, let's see. We have some parks, so that's fine. Might as well unlock parking spaces as well. Or, large roads. No. Well, yeah, we'll do large roads. See how that turns out. That gives us access to up to 7 lanes if we really must, but for now, that's not going to be much of a concern for us. Instead, we're going to concern ourselves with fixing this issue, which hopefully shouldn't be too much of an issue to try to resolve. My initial idea at this point was to review the way in which people are moving through the city, and primarily they're moving through the city to get to their homes. And right now, they're all trying to move into the new high-density residential that's coming in here, and the only way that they're taking currently to get in there is through this route, through this intersection here. So, theoretically, if we reset that to vanilla, place a roundabout on it, theoretically that should fix the issue for now, but that is going to be an issue that will evolve over time. But the traffic is moving a bit smoother now in that area. Give them some time, and yes, it appears as if that there was enough to clear it up for now. Excellent. It is a busy intersection because that is where the whole development begins, and where it intersects with commercial and many other amenities, but for the meantime, it's acceptable. Eventually we will build a highway, probably just adding a loop here that goes through so that civilians can get from this intersection here back up to here while also going through the city. But that will come later. We do have some demand for some high density demand, so that just means that we have demand for low rent housing, and we're going to place that towards the end of the beach here. Just like that. And that should be just perfect. We've also got some beach assets as well that I think that we could probably use. Yes, especially the piers here, we could certainly use them. As we start to expand further, we're definitely going to add some of these. In fact, we might just add... yeah, see, that's what we're going to have in the future, is a big beach. But let's go ahead and place ourselves a beach right here. A small beach here, small beach here, and a small beach here. We're gonna go ahead and connect those with... Initially the alleyway is gonna go up to here, and then it's going to evolve into dirt road. It's going to more or less devolve into a dirt road as well. And we will connect the dirt road there. That should at least cover up all the utility requirements, and a fantastic little beach indeed. We're having some slight issues with death care, so I think we're going to go ahead and purchase this tile here, because it seems reasonable to me that we would go ahead and just place a cemetery at the end of this road in the countryside, as it were. We'll just have to level the terrain here for the cemetery asset, which is quite frankly huge. I wish that there was a smaller one, but that's just the way it is. We'll place that there. And that's a good fix to the issue. But yeah, I think we're going to conclude this episode here, and my goodness, Weston Beach is in fact growing quite... oh dear.